Hello, my name is Kevin Sequeira. Today I will present on labor rights for women in Guatemala, um, focusing on legal protections and the gap between life and daily reality. Labor rights for women in Guatemala lives versus reality, and analysis of legal protections and implementation challenge. Um, Guatemala has developed a comprehensive legal framework to protect women's labor rights, um, answering the Labor Code of 1944 and a strengthened by later legislation. Articles 14, 151, and 152 explicitly prohibit gender-based discrimination and guarantee care rights, job security during pregnancy and um, breastfeeding, 12 weeks of fully paid maternity leave, and restrictions on heavy work in late pregnancy. Over time, these protections were expanded by Decree 7099 in 1999, um, promoting women's participation in all areas of society, and Decree 22 2008, which criminalizes gender based violence, including in the workspace. Um, the area of Central America, 1999 of 2025. Both hers the challenge despite there's a basis only 40 percentage um, of women of working age actuality participation in the labor market. So today I like to explore about the progress on paper and the work and the urgent work still not in practice. Both are the rights authority respectively in daily life. Major details. Let's begin with core legal protections. The Labor Code of 1944 is Foundation Article 14 prohibits discrimination based on sex, race, religion, political opinion, or social origin. Um, Human Rights Watch 2002, more specifically articles 151 and 152 um, establishing women's rights during critical lives, no dissemination during pregnancy of breastfeeding, and the right 12 weeks of full salary maternity leave. Um, Decree 7099 recognizing the Guatemala pluricultural and multilingual identity and committed the state to the woman's integral development. Then came Decree 2008, the law against femicide, which defines gender-based violence as a crime, even when committed by employers of cowards. Together, the laws shows a clear legislative commitment to gender equality in the workspace. Minor details. Beyond general principles, the law includes everyday protections. Employers cannot assign heavy cycle labor to women during the last 3 months of pregnancy. Um, Women have the right to rest breakfast or breaks to rest breaks for breastfeeding, and victims of workplace violence receive comprehensive supports include and victims of workplace violence receive comprehensive support including for their children. Their details matter because they translate rights into real life dignity. For example, a woman in textile factory shall not fear losing her job just because she's pregnant, or a teacher should be able to nurse her baby while time or penalty. In theory, Guatemala law guarantees this, but as well as its reality is often different. Reality in Guatemala, the implementation's gap. Despite this strong legal framework, serious challenges remain. According to Saving, um, only for only for out of often women of working age are in the labor force, and those who do work face persistent wage gaps. Women earn significantly less than me for equal work. Um, with this previous workplace harassment often unreported due to fear or lack of trust in institutions, and intersectional discrimination, especially for in indigenous, rural, and women. As one reported stage, education aspirations both the patriarchal and racist labor market skills keeps them how closest for women in Guatemala. Um, we have the labs. What we lack is consistent enforcement, monitoring, and cultural change. Conclusions. Guatemala's legal framework for women's labor rights is advanced on paper, from anti-discrimination clauses to full paid maternity leave and protections against violence. However, as we seen legal alone are not enjoy weak enforcement systemic bias and exclusionary practices continue to limit the women's economic empowerment. Uh, to close the gap, this gap, we need extraordinary state overseeing, workplace plan, training and awareness, and inclusive policies that center indigenous and marginalized women, because ultimately everything loves only become real justice. They are truly upheld in practice. uh, and reference Congress of Republic of Guatemala in Labor Code. La ON women gender gaps in the Guatemala labor market, and women in Guatemala's labor force challenge and opportunities. Um, thank you for your attention. Is finally my presentations as thank you.